All right, we ready? We welcome you in to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Mickelin and Christian Ennis. I'm Scott Ayers. We've got producer Andy.
He's back.
Back in the house. He doesn't have a microphone, though. We do like to silence people on this podcast.
Why are you guys sweating? Scott and Christian are sweaty boys right now.
Yeah.
Well, Trevor, I don't know if you knew this, but when we're not podcasting, we're in a band.
You guys are in a band?
We're in a band, a rock band, if you will. Hello. Rock Band 3. We were playing a couple warm-up songs, and Christian said, hey, let's play Freebird.
Yeah.
And, you know, as the guitarist, I was like, sure. I mean, that sounds fun. I'm sure that's fun. I had a 3-minute guitar solo, Trevor.
Yeah, you were going. Your wrist was cramping.
My wrist was cramping. My hand hurt. I told you guys I was sweating in the middle of playing this. Meanwhile, Christian's like shaking his like maraca or whatever.
Yeah, as the lead vocalist, there is a large part of the song where I don't do anything. Yeah. So that entailed me just pressing the A button on the Wii button.
Yeah.
We play with the Wii console.
Yeah,
so.
that's I think what makes us better is that we do play on the Wii of all consoles.
Yeah.
So, Rock Band House. I felt like it got us in a good mindset for the show because it was just like, hey, you know what? The show's slow paced. We just did something fast paced. We're coming back down, but we've got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Really good energy for the show. Not this week, but next week, fellas.
What?
We're bringing back the deep dives, Trevor.
Yes.
Just
like the Olympic divers.
Just like the Olympic divers. And we've seen some great divers, Trevor. But this might be even better. And guess what we're going to start?
Where are we going to start?
San Antonio.
Whoa, the Spurs.
Remember the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo. Wow. San Antonio Spurs.
I think Charles Barkley says it best when he talks about the big old women down in San Antonio.
And here's the thing. We will be respectful to the people of San Antonio.
Absolutely.
While we talk, hey, what's a fun team to do a deep dive on? We're not going to do one on every team. San Antonio, super interesting team. Could have an interesting, not only upcoming season, but the next 3-5 years. Very interesting. But first, guys, let's talk about the Olympics. They're finally complete. And we were given 2 just masterpieces for USA basketball. First against Serbia, a great comeback win. I think they came back from 18. But then more recently, to win the gold medal, they beat France, and it was Steph Curry late. LeBron James got dunked on. And overall, it was just a reminder of, we're getting to watch some of the greatest players to ever play this game step up at the biggest international stage.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. Shout out to Gershon Yabusele for France.
Whoa.
He was getting buckets for him.
Dog.
I only know his name because they said it so many times. It was ridiculous. I mean, he was a former Celtic, dealt with a lot of injuries, and so
Dunked on LeBron.
He dunked on LeBron, but if you look it up, you can't find a picture with LeBron in it.
Actually?
Yeah, everyone's like photoshopping LeBron out of the picture.
I saw people were like, this is AI. This has to be AI. There's no way LeBron got dunked on.
I watched some people be like, well, he's taking a charge. Like, that doesn't count. I'm like, dude.
You were there.
It absolutely counts.
Yeah,
if you're taking a charge, you get dunked on, you're still getting dunked on.
He got dunked on.
Got dunked on.
You got dunked on?
Happens to everyone, including LeBron.
Yes. A good reminder. And he won Olympic MVP, even though Jokic, led the Olympics in points, assists, rebounds, and steals.
Okay, Scott. He didn't win, though. He didn't win.
He didn't win.
Wait, LeBron won MVP?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know they gave out MVPs.
They gave out an Olympic MVP. Steph Curry, though, was really the hero in both the game against Serbia and in France. Without him in Serbia, I think they lose that game by double digits. And then against France, we watched some of the greatest shooting in those 2 games. I think he went it was 9 of 12 and 7 of 12 shooting wise. He shot 70% in the last 2 games.
This was super special for NBA fans that aren't Warriors fans. It's the one time that we've gotten to root for Steph Curry, and it feels good to root for Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So fun.
Warriors fans have been spoiled.
I know, dude. I was just on the couch watching it by myself. Janelle was in the kitchen, and I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my. And I was just like, shot after shot after shot. And that last three, that was the dagger.
It was vintage Curry.
Oh my! It looked like he was just messing around before like practice and just chucked up a shot.
I feel like everyone in that arena was like, "There's no way this one goes in two," and it drops and the place erupts. That was a moment. That was a moment.
I saw a take. It was like maybe the greatest shot in Olympic history, which I don't know Olympic history well enough to agree with that.
Yeah, we don't know what they were doing in the 1600s.
Yeah.
There's no video
Show
there.
us the footage of 1600 basketball, which I think basketball
the
didn't
video.
start until like what, the 1900s?
Yeah, but I mean,
There was a variation in Greece.
yeah, gotta be.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it also is a clear indicator because I think Twitter sometimes bogs down our brain functionality of like my player better, your player bad. Of like, oh yeah, we're watching three of the greatest players ever, and Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry, probably their last Olympic games, all go out on high notes. Kevin Durant finishes with the most points ever. He will hold the record for the most points ever for a Team USA basketball player. LeBron James goes out, won an MVP. Steph Curry goes out really as the hero. And the next question is, who's going to fill their spots? Because outside of those three guys, you know, Joel Embiid, he said he's probably going to go play in Cameroon in 4 years.
Bum.
They can have him.
They can have him. So who's
They
going to
probably
step
won't
up?
even make the Olympics.
Yeah, they probably won't. Anthony Edwards had flashes, but he wasn't great. Jason Tatum couldn't play. Devin Booker was probably the best of the non-legends.
But at the same time, the role that he was playing was like
So different.
role player. It's not like he was like dominant, taking over the game. He just did a lot of great little things that helped them win. But it's like end of the game, it's like Curry, KD, or Braun. So it's going to be interesting to see like just the future of USA basketball. Who's next?
I feel like a couple guys that come to mind are John Morant and Paolo Banchero. I feel like those two will be in the Olympics in 4 years and will be big parts of what we do. And also some of these guys that you mentioned, like, sure, they didn't have their moments in the Olympics, but they weren't even really given opportunities.
Jason Tatum, here's a stat for you. Took 19 jump shots, did not make a single jump shot in this Olympic Games. His mom complained more on social media than he had jump shots go into the basket.
That's insane.
That's a crazy stat.
I feel like Jason Tatum, I don't know, he wasn't given the opportunity like other players were. Jason Tatum's a great player. Would you
for
argue?
sure. Oh,
that
no.
he's not?
I think he's a great player.
I think if we gave him the opportunity, he would have showed up.
It could also be a lot of different things. You know, the ball's different. That sometimes messes with people's heads. And it's
Easier three-point line.
easier three-point
He didn't
line.
play the first game. That's got to do something to your head the next time you touch the court. Then it's like there's so much more pressure of like, I have 2 minutes right now to like prove myself.
Yeah, he never
Right?
got into a rhythm.
He never got into
this
a
guy
rhythm.
was Finals MVP or he won a championship.
Yeah, no.
Be
Wasn't
careful
Finals
there.
MVP.
Yeah.
And he went into this Olympic Games thinking that he was going to have a solid role on the team, and he's getting outplayed by his teammate, Derek White.
Right.
Yeah. Which, here's a question. Do you think Jaylen Brown had a little bit of joy seeing Jason Tatum not play, and then in that final game, Derek White getting a DNP and Tatum only getting 5-10 minutes? Do you think there's like a small bit of satisfaction to be like, all right, well, if I don't play, you don't play?
I think there's got to be a little bit of joy to it because it's like, would you rather? I mean, this is a dumb question because they won gold, but it's like, would you rather just sit on the bench the whole time, or would you rather just like not be on the team?
Right.
Because I mean, as these guys in the NBA, they have such a big ego because of the accomplishments that they've done in the NBA that when they get to the Olympics, you know, it's so easy for them to be like, whatever, like this is dumb. Like I feel
like Tyrese Halliburton handled it really well. Yeah. I think he posted on Twitter. He was like, when you don't contribute to a group project but still get an A.
He had fun with it.
Yeah, he had fun with it. And it's different. Like Tatum is, people argue Tatum's a top 5 player in the NBA.
Right.
And again, it could be role, but you know, Kevin Durant came in off the bench. He came off an injury and made an impact right away. And I don't want that to take away from Tatum, but I felt like every player, when they did get that call off the bench, just had bigger impacts. And again, it could just be fit for the team. I don't think Tatum or Embiid really fit with what this team wanted to do. Embiid also played really well against Serbia, but outside of that, he was pretty useless in just about every other game.
Which is just wild to think about, like a former MVP of the NBA just being completely useless.
Do you guys like FIBA? Oh, sorry, go ahead. But I was going to say, do you like the FIBA rules?
I do. I think I like some of the rules.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like being able to knock the ball off the rim.
Awesome.
Like, I think that's cool because then that also, like, you can do putbacks, a lot more putback dunks. I do appreciate the fact that it is a little bit more physical because, I don't want to watch free throws every night.
That's my favorite part of it. Is
Agreed.
we're not going to get as much of the flopping or foul baiting that we do in the league.
And you know what? That hurts some players like SGA and Embiid, where, a lot of there is to draw contact and get to the line. So some games don't translate as well versus others. But, FIBA refs still weren't, like, perfect. There were still calls where, like, oh, man, that was pretty bad. But one of my favorite things was the pace of the game. There wasn't just these obnoxious commercial breaks where you're sitting by waiting 5 minutes of real time to get back to a game that has 30 seconds left. Mm-hmm. So I felt like pacing was a lot better for FIBA rules versus what we have in the
There
NBA.
wasn't really any, like, reviews, too. Like,
Right.
I don't think you can review. Like, you can't challenge anything. So it made the last 2 minutes of the game actually feel like 2 minutes, which that adds to the level of excitement because it's like, going back to those Steph Curry shots, it was just like mind blowing to see it like shot after shot after shot, as opposed to shot 10 minutes later, it's another shot. And then it's like, that was exciting. It's kind of like when we're watching track and field, how it's just like the race is just all one motion kind of thing. And so like, you're kind of in it the whole time.
Right.
And that's just what the final 2 minutes of men's basketball game felt like.
I like that a lot.
I also, back to the players, I like that as well. But back to the players, in 4 years, like, guys, maybe we could see another name that I just thought of, Cooper Flagg. Who balled out in the pre, whatever you want to call that, workouts. In 4 years, he'll be 3 years into his career, and it seems like he's trending in that direction.
It's going to be so interesting just to see where the league is at.
Yeah, because all these it's like passing of the baton, like a new era. Chet Holmgren will also be a name.
Everyone that we grew up with is going to be not on the team.
Right.
Like, there's, like we said, no LeBron, no KD, no Steph.
Yeah.
None of that. It's going to be all new guys. Anthony Edwards is going to be 4 more years into his career.
Right. Booker's going to be an old head.
Booker's going to be old. Yeah, he's going to be like 32.
Right.
Which is just like, I just picture him as like a young 20.
For sure.
23 maybe. Yeah. Like, he's been in the league for like 5 years, but he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, it's weird. And it really does feel like next Olympics could be one where we see another country take the title. I mainly think of like France, where
France is going to be scary.
Victor Wembanyama is going to be.
And they have more than him coming up. They have Bilal. They have Tijan Salon. They have
a couple guards, too, that's going to be in this upcoming draft. That's pretty nice.
Dude, one of them,
And Serbia will be good, too. Jokic will be 32. It will depend on players like Nikola Topic, Nikola Jovic, if they can pan out. But those are probably going to be the top 3 countries again. It's just a matter of, I think France will be more competitive, and they were already extremely competitive this final.
Absolutely. Right. Even Wembanyama is like, I'm learning and I'm worried about the future teams that I'm going to be playing. So it's like, this guy wants to win. He's crying because he got a silver, and he's like passionate about the sport. Like, basketball is his life, and he wants to be the best.
That's something that we'll talk about next week with Victor. But like, what he has, he is the full package on the court, off the court. He's everything you want in a franchise player. To see him getting emotional after that game, and it's an Olympic game.
Yeah,
dude, this guy cares so much. Like, if you are a Spurs fan, that's what you want to see.
And I think that's why we'll argue in next week's episode. He's not going to want to lose and tank out. Like, He's going to do everything he can to try to get his team to the playoffs.
100%.
Dude, the Wemby glazing that we're gonna be seeing.
Oh, we are going to be. It's going to be crazy.
A glaze fest, big time.
Like if we think like LeBron and the Lakers is bad, like I feel like Wemby's gonna be up there.
Crazy. And
Krispy Kreme the way we're glazing.
yeah, small ball's gonna get that glazing started. Did somebody order a dozen glazed donuts? Byproduct of the Small Ball podcast. Yeah. Short episode, guys. Anything else we need to really add?
I just want to talk about this. Could be like super quick, but isn't it crazy how breakdancing is not going to be in the next Olympics?
Wait, is it actually got canceled?
It's
out.
not going to be in the next Olympics.
All because of
one and
Australia.
Dude, can we briefly?
Let's briefly.
We have, I've been asking. I want to get an average person into the Olympics and do any event. We finally got that with this Australian breakdancer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I read up on her today.
Okay, yeah. What do we get?
She's like a professor, and she was like, I don't know who it was, but like the captain of the Australian whatever for the Olympics was like, I admire. What's her name? Do you guys know her name?
It's like
she has
Rachel something, right?
Rachel's her name, but she has like some kind of Ray.
It's like Ray Gun or something.
Ray Gun. That's her breakdancing name, Professor Ray Gun.
Oh, no way.
But the Australian person's like, I admire her. It takes courage to go out there. She tried her best, and I'm like, dude. Did you watch that?
Dude.
Like, did she even try?
It honestly looked like if a judge to the Olympics was like, hey, we need you to fill in. You have 5 minutes, and then you've got to go on stage and dance.
It's like a 7-year-old daughter coming up to their dad saying, watch this, Dad. Watch this. Watch. And then doing that. Cool, yeah.
No,
Sweet.
I thought I read that Australia had tryouts for breakdancing.
Yeah.
And only like 19 people showed up. And the person that she had to beat was the coach or something. Like there was like a coach or captain that she had to beat out to go into the Olympics. And the coach or captain was her husband.
Yes.
What?
So she beat her husband in breakdancing to go to the Olympics.
I really don't think, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it is, if you haven't seen it, to the
Everyone
hundreds of
has
people
seen
that, it is by far one of the most pathetic performances I've ever seen from, like, she's considered an athlete. That's one of the most pathetic performances I've ever seen from her.
It's funny because she earned no points. The judges award her no points. And I'm watching like the other breakdancers walk around her and I don't know how they're not laughing.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's probably going to be the only time we get breakdance in the Olympics. So she will go down in the history books as the only Olympic breakdancer to not record a single point.
Ray Gun.
That is, there's world records for fastest times. She has a world record for no points. And it wasn't a disqualification. Just straight up no points.
Shout out Ray Gun.
Which, honestly, if you're bad, you might as well be that bad.
Shout out Ray Gun.
Shout out Ray Gun. This podcast is dedicated to you, Ray Gun.
Don't listen to the haters.
Don't.
Your haters are your motivators.
That's right, Ray Gun. We'll see you in 2028. She's just outside LA, just
she puts like a bucket down and cardboard box and starts dancing on it.
Oh man. All right. Well, guys, next week, San Antonio Spurs deep dive. We're excited. Wow. We're excited. But until then, for Trevor Makulin, producer Andy, and Christian Dennis, I'm Scott Ayers saying so long for now. We will see you next week.
I'm as free as a bird.